Hey, what's happening? Before we jump into the show, I wanted to see if you had any music on a hard drive. You have a band, you have a project, and you want to self-release your own music. Well, there's an easy way to do it. You can go to distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate and go get your music up on all the streamers. You keep 100% of your royalties, and you can get 30% off by using this code. It's a great, easy way to get your music up on the streamers and share it with your fans, your friends, your family, your mom, your dog, everybody. Everyone wants to hear it. But go to distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate, HYPHENATE, and send me the link. I want to hear it too. Send your mom the link. Send your dog the link. They all want to hear it too. We'd like to thank our sponsor, iZotope, the absolute leaders in intuitively designed plugins for audio restoration, mixing, and mastering. At iZotope.com, you'll find a plethora of tools and suites that will enhance your audio production, whether it's voice, video, podcast, or a full production recording session. Check out the industry-standard audio repair tool, RX11, or the multi-tool mixer plugin, Neutron 5, or the powerful Ozone 11 mastering suite, plus tons more. Go to iZotope.com and use the code FRET10 at checkout for 10% off. That's FRET10 to get 10% off at checkout. And again, the website is iZotope.com, IZOTOPE.com. What's happening? Welcome to Hyphenate Halftime. This is your show for Monday, August 11th. With me, as always, Mr. Aaron Farley. How are you doing today, sir?
Smell month.
Smell month. Yeah, year 3. We're beginning the 3rd year of this. Does it feel like it's been 2 years?
I'll tell you what, I feel older every day.
Well, okay, in that case, then it's probably good.
So yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. I can barely see you on my screen without having reading glasses. So okay. Yes,
I have my reading glasses on. Yeah, the glasses get thicker and the hair gets thinner. So yeah. Time's passing. Yeah. So it's fun. Yeah, I thought it'd be fun to kick it all off with a smell themed month, and it seemed like Jim was the right way to start it. Especially
starting with Jim.
Yeah,
So you know Jim much more than I do, but I do know Jim from the past.
Yeah,
we played there. I know for sure we played the Smell once. I think we played there twice, but I've been to the Smell many times to see many different iterations of what people would call music.
Now that's what I call music.
Noise extravaganzas with you and Devin and Carla, and I've seen the straight up rock shows. I've been there for a couple photo shoots where they've the space has been rented out for photo shoots.
Oh yeah. There was a crazy thing. So because the smell definitely looks unique, it's been used in a few productions for a few different things, but a couple that stand out. I remember it was right after college. It was kind of in this zone when, I was entrusted with a set of keys, and in doing that, there'd be I think there was a Russian pop star who was making a music video, and they had approached Jim and they worked out whatever the deal was. I was just there, the guy to open up the door and close the door and collect the money. And so I just kind of the location supervisor, and it was hilarious. I got there early in the morning. They had a whole behind the scenes, with trailers and wardrobe and everything in the parking lot next door. And they shot in the alley. They shot, a live band scene in the Smell. And I think they hired a bunch of people from the Smell as extras. I don't even remember what this artist's name was, but it was just hilarious. But at the end of the night, it was all done, probably there for 16 hours. And I think I got paid $3,000, but it was in cash or something. And I was and I'd ridden my bike to the Smell. So I just had a backpack or a messenger bag. And so I just took this envelope from this Russian guy, just put it in my thing. I'm okay, bye. And I locked everything up and then just rode my bike home. Oh man, I do not want to get mugged or robbed right now. Just don't look at anything. Don't make eye contact. Just
the benefits of having a DIY space that's also in Los Angeles.
Yeah, but I know
that's
they
where the
did.
money's at, is having a space to rent.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm sure.
Even like your house, like you could rent your house out, and if it's good for shooting, minimum $4,000.
Wow.
Probably
Okay.
like for bigger houses, you're paying like $6,000 a day.
Wow.
A day.
Let's do it. If anybody wants to rent this garage space, if you were looking,
man,
you could see it all here. Yeah.
I'll show you how to call a locate. Like you just call location places, and they'll come and take pictures, and they'll be like, "Oh, you have a studio?
Huh.
You have a studio, and you have like a little like
a tree house and
you got a tree house. You got a little yard. It looks like
see the mountains behind
California.
us.
Yeah.
My mom did this.
Big money.
My mom did this. She rented her house. My mom lived in Hawaii for, I don't know, 15 years. It was a while ago. And after I moved out and went to college, she sold the house we grew up in and moved to Hawaii. And she had a little house not far from the beach. And she got offered like a rental thing because she was in real estate and knew things, and somebody was going to use it for a film. And I was like, oh, okay. We were just talking to my mom. I was like, oh, that's cool. She's like, yeah, we're shooting the movie here. And she stayed with friends. I think they had it for a few days. And then she said she was on the second day, she was getting calls from her neighbors. Like, what's going on over there? She's like, oh, it's this Japanese film crew. They're filming a commercial or nature documentary or something, whatever they told her it was. Yeah. And they're like, hey, I don't know how to tell you this, but there's a bunch of naked people running around your house and in your yard. She's like, oh,
we're quote unquote Japanese.
Yeah, the nature, quote unquote nature documentary. Yeah. And there's a lot of au naturel.
Yeah, and it's called The Birthday Suit.
Yeah, I don't know whatever happened to it. She didn't seem too surprised. I think she was shocked, but at the same time, the contracts were signed, whatever, and the money was the money. She got paid. Amen. And they left it. They left it nicer than it was when before they got there. So she was actually she wasn't that mad about it. She's like, okay, well, hey, if you ever need it again, you know where to find me.
Hey man, people got to be naked.
It is what it is. What I mean? But yeah, no, the smell's funny. The other one that I remember, I'm sure there's a few of them, but the other one I remember was that the movie about the Runaways with like Kristen Stewart and I don't know who else it was, Elle Fanning or Dakota Fanning or somebody about the band The Runaways with Joan Jett and Cherry Curry. They filmed a scene in the smell because it looks like a punk club. It's it's got the big brick wall and the graffitied bathrooms and everything. And I remember watching, I think we watched it at South by Southwest one year. They had a screening, and because we were there, we were able to go. And it's quick. That's the craziest thing is you realize when you see stuff in a movie, you're like, they were there for 3 days. And you see it on screen and it's 30 seconds. 15, it's like 15 nothing.
Seconds.
But it looked good.
No, you didn't. He was my boyfriend. He was my boyfriend. Oh, man. Get out of here.
Hit your mic. Your mic was, now it's fine. Now it's fine.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it was like just them playing, awesome. Just them playing on a stage, and you couldn't even, everything's kind of soft, like them in the background. It was like a scene and somebody's talking to somebody while that band plays on the stage, and they just boom and it's gone. You're like, I think that had to have been the smell, but it didn't look, they brought in different lights and, with all the people and everything else in it. Yeah. Like, okay, well, they made it look like something, but it goes by so fast.
I love that. Yeah, I think Jeremy and Claire shot there a couple times.
Oh, okay.
And I was doing
for you gotta hit your mic again. It's so funny you're not hearing it. There it is. Yeah. Oh yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll stay away from it. Yeah. Jeremy and Claire shot there a couple times, and I was shooting video along with, I don't even remember what it was, Converse or something maybe, like ad things, and it was awesome because you actually, I feel like that's one of those times where you feel like, hey, I'm going to make an opportunity for these guys to get a chunk of cash,
right?
To run for this place to run. Like, it's not easy running a venue, obviously. And especially when all the shows are like $4 or $5. And even though everybody's volunteer, it's still like a ton for electricity and cleanup and
insurance.
You have to paint the place and insurance and making sure that that you have a little bit of extra just in case something happens and all that stuff. So I know that that was always a cool thing. I feel like when you were talking about the first time you went to the smell, I feel like I probably went to the smell like within the first 3 weeks that I moved to LA, maybe a month.
That's cool.
I definitely I went with Travis and Aaron, and there was I was trying to think of what the shows would have been. I remember a couple shows there, but they were all heavy, San Francisco bands, early 2000s.
Okay.
Just heavy. What was the one band? The Apes.
Oh,
remember a band called The Apes?
That sounds right. Daughters was a band from there.
Oh yes, Daughters.
Yeah.
I feel like it was those kind of bands at that point. Probably a lot of skinny jeans, hair.
Oh yeah,
high hair, or really long stoner hair, or some a faux hawk, or kind of something.
Who's the style of the time? Who was a band? Akimbo? Were they from San Francisco? I don't know. Who they were from. It might have been a Portland band.
That's a good band though.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, but I always saw all sorts of bands. But I do remember showing up, and it was for sure my drinking days, and so. You'd be like, oh, I guess we just drink in this alley for a while and then we go into the show. And then, it would be like you said, the poop in the alley. And,
oh yeah,
it was definitely a welcome to Los Angeles.
you wondered what the big city felt like. It's downtown LA is all the cliches at once.
Yeah. And at that point, downtown LA was not there was not the Trader Joe's and stuff that was a couple blocks away. It really was warehouses, some venues, but mostly warehouses, people that had a warehouse.
Yep.
And you'd go from warehouse to warehouse and watch shows, and there was no one else around on the streets. And
you hoped your car didn't get broken into.
Yeah. Usually you would pay an unhoused fellow a couple bucks to.
I think
this
Jim and I
warehouse.
Talk about it. Yeah, there was Smokey. Smokey was the guy in the early days in that parking lot that they didn't charge for. The parking lot was just an open parking lot, but you'd pay him to watch your car. You know? And there was sort of an unspoken rule that you were just basically paying him not to break into your car.
Yeah, or paying him not to tell his friends to which cars didn't pay.
Yeah.
And you you definitely knew. You're it's worth it. I don't know, it's a couple bucks.
Yeah. Do I really want it's going to cost me $200 to replace this window and whatever dumb CDs I had in the car or what, you know what I mean? It's this, that was always the thing too, is we were always so broke. There wasn't much to steal in there, but just replacing the window was the worst part. And
because
steal your stereo.
When you have no money, where do you replace a window? I got my window smashed in, I don't know, maybe 2-3 times only. Not too bad. Yeah. And, but I remember not having any money, and then you don't have you don't have a window, and you're like, wait, what do I mean, I know I have insurance, but this isn't expensive enough to go through insurance.
This isn't that kind
Where
of car.
Where do you get a window? I just drive around and find a window guy? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
You go downtown near the brewery, where you also go if you need a random tire. You need a $15 tire.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I got so many
tire. Oh yeah,
$15 to $20 tires.
I had the $20 tire guy. It was over off Santa Monica and Vine, right by the Hollywood Forever Cemetery.
There's a guy, right?
Great, $20 at a time. I'd buy at least 4 of them a year.
Yeah. I had a guy that was down by the brewery.
Oh yeah.
I know that spot. There's a strip of 5 tire shops right there. And one of those guys, I was like, do you know a guy that does windows? He's like, I do windows. Oh, all right.
Perfect.
It's give me 10 minutes. And he took my
panel off,
took my inside panel, and he magically had a 1984 Toyota Corolla window lying around. And voila, new window that
what did that cost you? Yeah, $100.
I mean, it couldn't have been more than what I had on me. $20.
Oh wow!
No, I have $40 maybe.
Wow.
Maybe 40
That's
or 50.
A great deal. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it was not. It definitely wasn't 20. The tires were 20. It was less than 100 though.
Wow.
It was but this is the less than $100 job as well.
Sure, that's great.
I think it was quote unquote a window that fit an 84 Corolla.
Just don't roll it down all the way or it'll fall off the track.
Yeah. You got to keep it I think there's a little air coming through here and there.
Yeah. That's Oh, it's incredible. Yeah. Or the thing where like you'd be behind a car or a big truck and then like a little rock would fall off and you just get that one little like crack and then just keeps spreading and spreading and spreading. Like, well, when do I actually have to replace this? Like how bad does this have to get? And I'm sure there was laws about it, but looking back, it was just like, no, everybody's car had one or two cracks in the corners. And you're just kind of like, I'm just watching it go. And like, shit.
Did you ever do the thing where you actually had to leave something in your car that was a little bit valuable and you couldn't take it in with you, but you had enough stuff in your car that you could like throw trash. Stuff around to make it look like just make it look like the worst car ever.
Oh yeah. Just cover it in the trash.
Like, you just have trash. Oh, yeah. They're like, there's like a $1,500 camera under there, under that Burger King. The Burger King bag.
It was tactical trash. Like, hey, don't throw that trash out. I need that. I got to hide anything if I really leave it in here.
When I'm driving, I keep it in a bag. Yeah. But every once in a while, I have to spread it around the back seat.
Oh, it's so true. Yeah, I saw something online where it was like you could make like a trash blanket. You kind of like super glue or sew in or do something somehow attach, like Velcro attach all this trash you just have on top of a blanket. And if you're ever going somewhere, you just throw the blanket over it and it just looks like shit everywhere. You're like, okay, it's not worth breaking into.
That's a good one. I like that.
We always carried extra blankets on tour. We were mostly in minivans but we just throw the blankets over all the gear or whatever it was in the backpack, just try to keep it like just nothing to catch your eye, nothing shiny, nothing with a name on it, nothing that looked out of the ordinary, just a minivan with a bunch of blankets.
It's like old blankets around. Too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The shittier, the better.
Looks like possibly someone's been sleeping in there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sort of coated. But Jim's always been there. It's I just can't like stress how rare it is to have an all ages DIY space last as long as the smell has. I mean, almost coming up on 30 years, and another couple of years is insane. I don't think Jim thought it was going to last that long. I don't think anybody thought it would last that long.
I mean, I was thinking when you guys were talking about that I was thinking actually, like, since you're a part of it, it seems normal. Or like, because I've been there for so long, it seems, it just seems normal in the sense where you're like, yeah, Jim has the smell and you've been a part of it for long enough to realize kind of how it works and whatever.
Oh, right. Oh, but I see what you're saying. Yeah. The
like
place
it seems
itself is normalized. Yeah.
Yeah. It's normalized because the process of how it runs, and because of all the people that are involved, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. But then when you really think about it, I was thinking of how unique of a situation it actually is, because I couldn't imagine anyone else other than Jim being able to do that. Like whatever that is, like he's like Michael Jordan. He's like, his personality is so chill, but yet he's so dedicated. And he also is so hardworking that also had like a completely full-time job. Also seemingly has no ego at all. It seems
it's impressive.
He's hiding it. No, hiding it down there.
I try to talk about it in the interview, and I know it's a funny thing to try to bring up in an interview, but I wanted to sort of get his take on it. Like what is your perspective? Because this is not, again, this is not normal. Like most people don't have this. There is a personal, somewhere, something. You got to put Jim Smith Presents or have the Jim Smith fan club somewhere. And nope, doesn't have it.
No. But because you have to have enough of an ego to do it, to do the thing.
I guess.
To be like, I am a part of a thing that's important enough for me to keep it going. And I'm kind of, even though he talked about it in the interview, like, yeah, maybe we'll make it a 501c3 and we'll get a board. And I'm like, nope, not going to work. Trust me. It's just, it only works because he's involved, even though he's seemingly as hands off as possible in the way where he's like, no, I want it to run because I don't have the time to run it full time. But he's good enough at delegating without even delegating, really. Like it just seems like I was thinking like I don't know of even another situation. Like we had our gallery for 3 years. There were 4 of us. That thing barely could have we barely knew who had the keys at times. or like who is going to do this and that, and so is, wait, they're out of town, they're supposed to set up, and the,
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't have imagined it, even if Justin didn't pass away. It was like we were all talking about, like, I don't know how long we could do this, even though we're not losing money. But man, this is like crazy. This is rough. It's so much work. It's so much work that you don't think there's so many things to do that you don't think are there. Like just all the little things, and you're like, it can't be that hard to have a little space, and then someone goes, hey, I want to come pick up my painting I bought, and I'm like, oh, I'm on a shoot, and so is like, what? I don't even have my keys. I gave him to this. It's just like those little things is enough. Like for most businesses, DIY spaces, like I feel like a couple years, and it's like, yeah, and so for it to happen as well as it does with him, maybe he's almost like an Ian McKay character. Like that, like I'd run it, but like with the, like not with like a
heavy hand,
an iron fist, like not a heavy hand. It's like I run it with like some feathers in my hands.
It's my responsibility to keep it alive.
I don't know.
But it's sort of try to keep it running by itself and not influence it too much, which is impossible because it's just by like you being there, you influence it from one way or another. But I do think early on, I remember kind of being impressed, but also just being like, I feel like it was one of those like early lessons that like as a young punk and kind of being angry and sort of idealistic, it was about democracy and everyone had to vote and it's equal, you feel like that's how, anything should run. And, just with no experience, with only just, ideas and theory behind it. But then seeing Jim put it all together, and that was that feeling. I remember Dee and I talking about it too on some tour. It was just like the benevolent dictator in a very kind of positive, space, but like, or dictator is the wrong word, but just in the sense of like one person, it just feels like stuff gets done somehow, when there's just one person behind it all and everyone can help and everyone can play a part and everyone can volunteer, but it's never a question of like who's in charge or who's has the power or the wrestling of it. It sort of in some ways like provides that sort of like confidence, like, okay, well, Jim has it, he's going to hold it down, but I have an idea. I want to do something. I want to paint a mural. I want to book a show. I want to have a pancake breakfast. I want to cut hair, you just talk to one person and Jim, and he's going to get back to you, and he doesn't have to ask a committee. If he thinks you're good, you're the right person and the idea is good, then that's it. It's stuff. So it's productive in some ways to just have that one person sort of running it and not having to necessarily have the politicking of asking 10 different people or getting a consensus. And, and that's just sort of the way it is with bands and stuff too. You know what I mean? It's like the more you have 4 people in a band, there's going to be 2 sides, if not 3 sides, which doesn't sound, logically you go, well, okay, 4 people and it's even and everything has to get done. It's like, well, somebody's going to beat up and bully, team up and bully someone else. And it's just going to, and then they're not going to feel right about it. And the fights just happen. Anytime you get more than one person involved in anything, it's hard. It's a marriage. It's a relationship. It's brothers and sisters. It's, it's a family. It's hard. So.
Yeah. And I agree with you about the benevolent dictator, even though, like you said, I mean, I don't know if dictator is not a wrong word, because there is a there is a level that when it goes to a certain level, there is a person that's like, well, this is my decision and I'm going to decide this way.
Yeah.
And it's like those decisions, he's chosen for those decisions to like go down into a democratic process. But he's like, when that democratic process maybe breaks down a little bit, or there's not a way to make decisions because those people don't run the funding, or those people don't have the checkbook or whatever. And then they go like, hey, we want to do this thing. And he goes, that makes sense business wise. Cool. But he's like, but he's not wanting to make, he's not needing to be in the decision-making process all
the time. I
think,
it's almost like, consultants, or there's people there who had to ask, like, hey, I need to know, I think this microphone's broke or the speaker's broke. And he has people who are sound technicians and who got their start at the Smell and work other places. And he can call and be like, hey, what do you think? Can you come down and look at this thing? And I mean, I've been up on a 40-foot ladder replacing speakers from the big PA boxes, and I was like, this, I shouldn't be up here. This is dangerous. But here I am, and I just dropped a screw, and I got to go down, walk. I got to climb down this thing with a drill in my hand and go pick that screw up, and this thing's swinging. It's just, so it's like, but it worked. I got it to work. So I guess I was the right person to call at that time. But I just feel like there's those feelings of like, he'll ask, but then at the same time, I'm like, Jim, I would just throw out all of this shit and just buy all new things. He's like, well, we don't really have the budget for that. And I'm just like, oh my God. All right. So, let's at least go through that. Like, let's go through some of these milk cartons of old power surge, power protectors, protectors. Yeah. I was like, can we just go through those? I don't think we need 50 of these. Like, let's just have 5 that work, and then throw the rest of them away. It's like, well, maybe we can give them out. We could offer them for free if anybody wants to take one. It's like, okay, there's the compromise. But there's a few years ago, Dean and I came in and we're just there to help. And like, it was just the thing too. But what's nice about is, when it's one person, and then like, well, it's in good hands. Like, he's going to take care of it, and he's going to make sure that the next generation comes in. And if it's an issue, then, because I feel like once Dean and I started touring a lot, we just weren't able to be there as much as we were. And you just don't notice how things are going. And it's, but I just know, like, well, if there was ever an issue, or if he needed help, or if he needed something from us, he knows he could reach out. And so, but it was kind of nice though, because I feel like I was able to start my family and, and be busy, and I'd still get calls or texts at some point, like, hey, could you open the Smell up on Tuesday at 7:00? I'm like, no, we got diapers, and we all go to bed at 6:00 now, because the baby wakes up at 2 a.m. And, and I realized I had to pass on my keys. It wasn't really, I just, I wasn't able to answer the call. The bat signal would go up, the smell symbol would go up. I'm like, no, it's not me. I'm not the day-to-day guy as much as I was, from 23 to 28. I probably put my 5 years in there for, anytime, any place, just, running down there and wiping off the human shit from the locks, and then unlocking it and rolling the door up, and then washing my hands with boiling water. And, it's, I don't know. I put a lot of time into it, but at the same time, it was nice though. I didn't feel bad when my life got busy and I had other responsibilities, because I knew Jim would be there. And that was what was great about it,
Well, and I guess what happens is that usually these types of things either become like a for-profit type of thing, and then you do have to put your ego and all that stuff, because you're like, well, this is now how I make my money. So now I'm going to run a club to make a profit, and then you have to start selling drinks and you have to start doing the thing, or they just fizzle out because usually it doesn't have a good enough structure holding it up to be like, well, if you're not the day-to-day guy, and then the other person isn't the day-to-day guy or girl, and then the other person isn't either, all of a sudden there's no one that has keys and can do it. And then that happens for 2 months and no one can get in. And then, or it happens a couple times a week, no one could get in. And then all of a sudden people go, we'll go to Il Corral or we'll go this other, and to have that kind of structure to where when you're like, I'm not the key guy anymore. And then someone steps up and go, I'll be the key guy. And then it just gets passed on to the next generation. I was going to say too, that our high school, like our friends who have high school kids, like a couple years ago, like Lila, her friend, texted her and was like, hey, we're going to the Smell for the first time tonight. And Lila was like, Dad, have you heard of the Smell? And I'm like, I have heard of the Smell. How old are your friends? They're like, they're 15. And I'm like, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is
Uber down to the Smell.
It's changed a lot. Like you said, drinking in the alley, the alley still's the alley, but the drinking isn't there. And and there's a great bar next door that, that I think in theory cards now, and maybe it didn't in the past, but now does, and so everything's pretty much on the up and up in terms of that sort of stuff, where it has really, grown with the time and the sort of the size of its sort of, reputation. You know what I mean? I feel like it was the kind of thing when it was very underground and no one knew about it. Lots of things happened, you know, and because no one was looking, you know, in the sense that like, you know, people had beers out or whatever, you know, but then
and everyone was younger too.
Yeah. But I think and no one knew about it, there'd be 5 people there. It was that kind of thing. You know, I have some interviews coming up, you know, one with Anthony Berryman, who was one of the early sort of, you know, volunteers there. And yeah, it was like a kind of private club, kind of private social club in some ways. And then as the years went on and its reputation grew, then I think the sort of the responsibility of it and the, you know, sort of code of conduct had to sort of grow with the size of it, which is great because now it's a great safe space for, you know, your 15-year-old awesome. Can say, I want to go to the smell. And you're like, sounds good.
You know? Well, and your son can like volunteer at the candy candy table or whatever.
It's his favorite thing to do is to volunteer to run the little snack bar there and sell the waters. It's funny though, but there's something nice like when you were talking too about the for-profit thing, like because it's all volunteer run, there's not really that sense of like, you know, I don't think Jim's ever had to like text somebody and be like, you're late for your shift, or you said you'd be here, but you're not here. You know, there's a sort of like loosey-goosiness that comes, you know, that cuts both ways where it's like, I don't know, they didn't show up, but I wasn't paying them anyway. So that's fine. I could do it. Like, you know, there's a couple roles I think that are paid in the sense of like a sound engineer, you know, or sit front of house engineer, that you need that person there. And so that'll be a paid thing. But I think other than that, you know, it's pretty much all volunteer run, meaning that
you like get into the show for free, right? You volunteer.
Yeah. And it's just a way of being part of that community. I mean, that was always a big thing. I would, you know, people would ask me about the smell. It was like,
totally
just go as an audience member, you know, and that's the first way to kind of do it. And then if you actually want to be involved, there's literally a 3-ring binder on the desk as you're paying your $5. You could pay your $5 or just go there without not even paying your $5. Just go and put your name on the list as a volunteer, and then go home and come back whenever that show was you volunteered for. You come in and see the show for free, but you have to stamp hands or you gotta, you know, sell waters or whatever. And that's part of the exchange, I guess, of it all. But it's not hard, but it's different, I guess, in the sense of, if you think about it, like how weird this is. But again, like Jim doesn't have to yell at people for not showing up or for not being there or for like, you know, being late or taking their 15-minute break early. It's just kind of this, it's all sort of like, I don't know, that volunteerism sort of thing of like, if you want to be here, you'll be here. If you're interested, if you're passionate about it, there's things to learn, there's things to do. But if it's not your thing, then don't worry about it. We're not going to.
And also, like, what a great way to learn how shows run and how a venue runs and what a sound person is and
oh my God,
how to set up microphones and like it's just like a free lesson and all of that. How do you promote a show? How do you make a flyer? How do you like and
sell
also
merch? How do you
totally. And what I thought was so cool about that place always is that even if you went to go see the weirdest show and you'd be like, oh my God, I am not going to fit in, or you know, whatever, you'd walk in and everyone's like, hey, how's it going? $5, blah blah blah. And you really didn't feel like, oh right, this is like everybody's here because they just want to be here. And it's like some people are volunteering, some people aren't, but it's like it's cheap enough to where, you know, there's not a million people trying to get in on the list because it's $25 and you don't want to pay that to watch one band and all these things. It's like, no, it's $5. You just pay your $5. There's not a list. There's not a thing. It's like, just pay your money and come in, like support the place. And, you know, everybody's here to have a good time.
Yeah. It's so funny too. I just remember like, you know, once I learned so much there, you know, first thing is just starts off just sweeping up, like literally just hanging out after the show, sweeping up and taking out the trash cans and just, you know, like that's just rule number 1, you know, if anything, it's just like, okay, what can I do to help? Like, cool, here's a broom. And I remember not being bummed, like, but actually being stoked, like, okay, cool. This is like, it's just fun to see a venue when no one's in it after a show too. It's that kind of like, okay, now I'm like behind the rope. I'm behind it. You know, this is like getting to see how the sausage is made a little bit. But yeah, eventually I learned how to do sound there to the degree that, you know, it's possible, working a mixing board and running mics and things, and it's great.
That's
and
awesome.
Then just talking to a band, and it informed me so much as a artist too. Just having that experience of like when you'd meet front of house guys, at other venues, and you're like, I know what your job is, buddy. Calm down. This is not that hard to do. just relax here.
I've done this before.
You're plugging stuff in and you're turning it up, or go. Yeah. Actually, this is a hard gig for him. I can see how this isn't going well. There's like 14 bands and everyone's doing their own, using their own drum kit, and this is a pain in the ass. I could see that because I've been on the other side. So I can be sympathetic or critical. Just because it's hard to talk shit if you don't have the experience. Well, it's not hard. It's easy to talk shit, but it makes more sense. You're a little bit more empathetic, or when you've done it. So it was a great experience. The other thing I was just thinking, I was laughing, was that once we started touring a little bit, we would send postcards to the Smell. It was like one of the few like addresses we could remember. That's
amazing.
And like we knew the address because for whatever reason, but it was so it'd be fun to be on tour and it's like, oh yeah, let's send a postcard to Jim, and then we'd come back from tour and he would slip it under the glass at the front desk. And it was fun to see like, oh yeah, that's right. I remember we wrote that here. We did this, or we did that. And so it was kind of fun, just another way to like write home or just, thinking about Jim. And I think that was, so it's, I can't like overstate it. Like how much we really just felt like, invested in the Smell, but also felt like we were taking the Smell with us in some weird ways too, as being not necessarily ambassadors, but just as like this is what we're used to playing, and this is where we come from. And as we'd go to other towns and stuff, and like, this is our thing. We played this place, the Smell. If you're ever in LA, we can help you book a show there. And we would, and it was fun. It was a great way to kind of like, endear yourself or get to know bands and underground scenes in other parts of the, country in the world, by saying, oh yeah, we have a place at home where we play. And,
well, and you guys and Mika Miko and Abe Vigoda, and like, it was like a good group of like solid bands at that time too. It's like, I mean, I think what is great is when a venue does pop up like that and also cultivates a really comfortable, like a scene, like a comfortable place that people want to go to see interesting music. It makes all of those kids that go to that place want to start bands and go like, I want to be up on stage now. I've gone to like 10 shows. I want to be up there. I want to learn how to music. It
doesn't look that hard. I could do that. It just,
And honestly, it's not that hard. Yeah. It's not that hard to get up there. It's hard to like
be good,
make people move and make people not want to just leave and all that. That takes time, but it's not that hard to get a couple people together and go like, especially places like that. It's like where you always play your first shows at like the Che Cafe or the Smell or Il Corral or some Mexican restaurant that your buddy washes dishes at and decided to book shows on a Wednesday night, or it's all those kind of places that you learn how to be like a crappy band, and then you like slowly go, oh wait, 4 people stayed and they were actually like shaking their heads a little bit. Okay, we might have something here.
It's incredible.
It's like a good test grounds for people to like to just like it. Just I think the bar is low in a way where people are accepting of like, I'll go watch these guys. This is cool. They didn't spend $50,
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, I am wasting my time with all my money. They're like, $5. Yeah, let's sure.
But it also wasn't as crass as some of those places or like the pay to play sort of things, or like the Colbot Cafe or these different things that LA had. I don't know if they probably still have somewhere, but it's like you'd show up and they'd have, okay, what band are you here to see? And they would like write down like a hash tally mark next to their band so that they would get the credit for the ticket sold, and you had to have sell X amount if you were going to play there, or this kind of bullshit. And again, I understand that's the for-profit model of this. Like, to the degree that you're hoping your club or your space makes money, that would be the financially responsible thing to do. But culturally and just sort of creative support, minded things, it just doesn't feel like that. It just feels so bald-faced and gross and weird, and you're like, I don't want to do this, especially when you're younger. You're susceptible, but I think at least I was more sensitive to all of that stuff too. I was like, this doesn't feel like a real show. This doesn't feel real. This feels gross.
No. Well, and especially when people know, or when people don't know that the kind of DIY stuff exists and they're just trying to make it or whatever, like we're going to be a big band.
Yeah.
And then you go like, well, you do this, like you have to sell, they give you a roll of tickets or however that works. I don't know how that works. And then you have to sell your roll of tickets for $30, $20 or whatever, but you had to buy them for 15. And then like whatever you didn't sell, you have to eat those tickets. And then like all that, I'm like, okay, I guess this is getting you prepped for the music business probably. I mean, it's actually probably pretty good training for like the what you're going to have, like just the 5% of what you're going to have to go through later if this actually works out. But for those smaller venues, when it's like, no, just come play.
Yeah.
And we split the door by how many bands there are, and that's it. Like you're good.
Exactly. You might walk home with $20. You might walk home with no money, but you played a show, and you didn't have to like sell the tickets ahead of time. You didn't have to get your mom and dad
keep your merch money.
It wasn't like that waxy chocolate shit you'd have to sell for school or something. You know.
Oh my god.
That was the experience I remember having like in high school. I was playing music in high school and having friends bands and kind of being more suburban and further away from the smell and stuff. But we're not even knowing about that kind of stuff. But there was like at friends bands who would play the Roxy or the Whiskey. Yeah. That was the thing, you didn't have to sell 50 tickets. And usually what would happen is, the mom or dad or the parents, of the kids would just pull together and each throw in $500 or throw in $100 or whatever if you had to sell $500. Basically, they had to show up before you loaded into the venue for that night's show. You had to give them $500 to play that show. And so at some point, you'd sell 2 to grandma and grandpa or something, and then you didn't sell anything else. But the mom and dad would fork over the money just to support the kids. Like, oh, cool. And then the dads are there, getting wasted. Like, this is where Jim Morrison played. Yeah. Fucking the Doors playing here, bro. They're having a better time because like they paid for it. They're getting to drink Jack Daniels in the backstage, dressing room at the Whiskey. That's what they paid for. And their kids, get to go up and play for 20 minutes on a 7-band bill. To a bunch of strangers.
We played the Roxy once.
Ooh.
We never did pay to play. I don't know how. I think someone asked us to open.
The Roxy was a legit venue, and it was good because it could be like 200 people, and it was
Roxy. We played the Viper Room once.
Oh yeah,
that was weird.
Those guys did the pay to play things. I never played there.
We never. We just got asked. I think that's what because Aaron Garcia used to drum for us at the very beginning, and I think when we were like, hey, this band asked us to play the Viper Room, and I think that's when he was like, yeah, I'm out.
Oh no, that was it. That broke him.
No, he was already doing Brother Reed, but I think that might have been the last straw. I don't know if he would. I mean, maybe it was right around. It just was. It was conveniently right around the right.
It was the right time. The writing was on the wall.
And honestly, don't blame him. I completely understand. But it was one of those things of like, the Hollywood side is weird. We played those 2 shows for. Just opening. I don't know who we opened for, or Chris would always met everybody, and he's like, "Hey, someone asked us to play the Viper Room," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm down for whatever.
Let's do it."
Go to play Viper Room, and then we drive down to Mexico and play somewhere in Mexico, and play. I'm down for any weird
show.
Like just
the Knitting Factory. Did you ever play the Knitting Factory?
Yep. Yeah. We actually played the Knitting Factory the day we got back from Australia.
Whoa. The Knitting Factory is sort of like passed as like an okay Hollywood venue because I think they had better booking and it had like a New York kind of lineage and stuff, and it felt like it was a crappy Hollywood venue, but it somehow like didn't feel as crappy as those like Sunset Strip sort of places.
Yeah,
even though it was right on
a pretty good
Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, where was that place? Right on Hollywood.
Hollywood in La Brea. I think it's
really?
I think it's like a gym now or a CVS or something.
Oh, that's crazy.
It was like part of a mini mall. It was like a weird Hollywood Boulevard complex.
You'd walk through that kind of hallway.
Yeah.
That was a good place. I feel like I saw some good I feel like I saw a couple good hip hop shows there. Like maybe like Z Trip, like some like weird DJ
Jurassic 5.
Probably. So that was like the couple years that I got to LA. It was like 2000 and 2001, and it was still like Z Trip was like the biggest thing, and then Cut Chemist.
Oh yeah.
And Jurassic 5, and that was like LA hip, like underground LA hip hop at that point.
That's wild.
So I feel like that. But yeah, we played there again. I don't remember who with, but I remember being so jet lagged. I was like, I do not know where I am. It was like the day after we got back.
We played their opening for Gibby Haynes and His Problem. Gibby Haynes' solo band from the Butthole Surfers.
Wow, how was that?
It was all right, you know. I don't know. I don't think any of us were big Butthole Surfers fans.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We actually did a whole tour opening for him. The band before No Age, the band Wives. We played San Diego, LA, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle. And I think by the time we got to Portland, we were being snotty and bratty.
Yeah.
And then I think he came to talk to us in Seattle, and we were just like, whatever, dude, that's fine. I don't think he was a bad guy, but yeah.
I like, from all the stories I've heard of him, like pulling guns out on stage and whatever, that he's coming into you guys and like, hey guys, can you chill out a little bit?
Yeah, come on, you guys are being a little too rough.
Stop making fun of me, man.
Come on, come on. Oh, it was hilarious. But, we just had no sense of the, whatever, the industry or the music world of stuff. We were just like, get on stage and just make a racket for 20 minutes.
Yeah, why not? Because you don't think you're like, it was fun. You're like, what kind of weirdo would book us anyway? Like, you're the problem, not me.
Well, and we never played those kind of clubs, and so that was sort of the attraction and the repellent at the same time. Again, but this was it. Like, we were spoiled from playing at the Smell, where we just assumed everybody, you showed up 10 minutes before your show time, threw your shit in a corner and played, and then and then hung out. Like, it was easy. Not that we're, I guess but we were spoiled. I don't know, compared to like, these proper like, touring venues where they want you in there like 4:00 to sound check. Like, we never sound checked as a band, and I'm sure it sounded terrible, but that wasn't the point. We didn't care, but everybody was just looking at us. And now, and looking back, like, we just didn't play their game or whatever. It just didn't know, like, why would we be there at 4:00? Like, we're driving to Portland from San Francisco. Like, this is like an 8, whatever it is. What's that, a 12-hour drive? 16-hour drive? Like,
8 to 12. Oh, yeah, maybe 16. Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels long as fuck. It's always one of those things like,
too long.
I think he had a tour bus, and they probably drove overnight, and we were just at that point, I don't even know what we had. I think we had Dean's like dad's like 70s like van conversion with like captain's chairs, like,
with all of your equipment and all of you guys in the same van.
Of course. Yeah. We're just going, and
no trailer.
And it just didn't really work. There was like the best part. We did a US tour in that van. It was called the Sputn 5. That was what the license plate said. It was like the 70s, shag carpet kind of like thing. Amazing. And at one point, like, somebody pulled up next to us somewhere in the Midwest and was like pointing at our tires, and we're like, all right, thumbs up, buddy, it sounds good. And they kept pointing and like honking at us. I'm like, what the fuck's the guy's problem? And then I stuck my head out and looked, and there was just like sparks coming from one of the tires. Like, oh shit, we got to pull over. I think the car's on fire. The van's on fire. And so we went to pull off, and the one tire like didn't move, like all that. The other one like turned, but one tire just stayed. And so we like just like shuddered at like, whatever, 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour off the highway. The tie rod from the steering wheel to the to the wheels themselves, so when you turn the wheel that turns it, that part broke, and it was just like dragging. We're dragging it underneath the car, and that's what was sparking. So we had to replace that at some point in the car.
Oh, that's fun.
But we didn't know, man. We had no
I love
idea.
that, like, being young and being like, we're just going to get in a van and like drive across the country and try to make some money.
20-year-old van that we had, what I mean? It didn't have a tune-up. I don't know. We didn't know. Yeah. It kind of drove. We probably had 200,000 miles on it, and we're just going to go drive it around.
Yeah, you don't think of any of that stuff.
We built a loft.
You put in a tire?
Oh yeah, no, we had no idea. We built a loft though, and Dean had his uncle who had a like a mattress store give him a futon mattress that we could like put on top of the loft, so all the gear would go underneath. We knew at least how to do that. And then oh god, it's terrible.
So crazy.
We were trying to pee out the window, like going up the highway.
Well, you could.
Just all blows back at you. Even though I was pointing the right way, I was going with the wind, but it still didn't work. It still just.
Oh my god, all of them. I didn't even go on tour that many times, but
We're 19. We were 20.
It was always, I was like the old guy when I went out with Dios.
Oh yeah,
like with Joel and those guys, Joel and JP, and I was just shooting photos and selling merch. And then like they played a show. I want to say they played in Arizona, and then they played one show maybe in Denton, Texas, and then the van broke down.
Oh.
And we were on our way to CMJ.
Oh, in
so
New
it was
York.
like, and so it was like a Sunday or a Saturday night it broke down, but like timing belt, like the whole, like really broke down. And they were like, well, it's Texas, nothing's open on Sunday.
It's Lord's Day, son.
Okay, so nothing on Sunday. So then on Monday came, and then Monday was like, oh man, it's gonna take a day for us to get this part in. And then so we were in Texas for like 4 days or something, and then huffed it to like
straight
just quick. They missed like
Texas
all of it, like New Orleans and like whatever they were going to play on the way up, like just missed all that stuff. And it was just straight shot to CMJ. And then we're in CMJ, and CMJ went pretty good. And then, wait, were CMJ and South by Southwest around the same time?
Probably. Yeah. I think think CMJ was before.
Or maybe it was after, because maybe we hit South by Southwest.
Oh, that
first.
was the Texas part. Okay, yeah.
And they did the Texas part. So then we made that, and then we went up to CMJ. And by the time we got to CMJ, there was a bunch of issues or something. They missed a couple shows, and there was a couple good shows. And then the last show was in Buffalo, New York, at some little tiny bar. And 3 people were there. Ooh. And and it was just one of those tours. Like the last couple shows, they had just put out a record or an EP, and all these people in the city were all into it. And and then Buffalo, nope. There's like 3 people, and there's like skeletons hanging from the ceiling. And Joel, if you ever go see Dios, I think they're going to start playing again. I don't know. They just re-released a record.
That's cool. I saw something. Yeah.
But he plays some of the most amazing, like Pink Floyd covers, unreal, like just unreal. And so and he had played a little bit of one, like somewhere on the tour. And then we were sitting there, and it was me, the other band. It was like the other 2 bands, and it was like 5 people total, the sound guy and the person at the bar. That's it. So it was like 6 people. And I had told him, and I'm like, dude, I love it when you play the Pink Floyd, like it's so good. And then, so like halfway through the set, they just like, he busted into this old Pink Floyd song, and just sitting in this chair with nobody else in this bar, listening to them play Pink Floyd, and just like,
this is the best.
This isn't so bad. This is pretty amazing. And so after that show,
touch your mic. Your mic's buzzing.
Oh man.
There you go. It's off. Yeah.
After that show, we're like, okay, so we're stay the night there, and we were gonna, start driving back. And they were like, Jimmy, who always drove, the keyboard player, he's like, we're just heading home, man. We're just going. And so we just got the van.
They had more shows, but we're just done.
No, the shows were done.
Oh, okay.
But there was
they're going to drive straight home. They weren't even going to stop.
He's like, we're just going straight home.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, okay. That's
a drive.
And he literally drove straight home. We stopped for gas. 29 hours, 30 hours, 32 hours. It was insane. I think at some point, like maybe JP drove for like 5 hours while Jimmy slept, and then Jimmy woke up. He's like, all right, I'm ready. And we literally drove from Buffalo to New York in like 2 days. What it would be like, probably 2 days, 30 some hours.
You can do it. It's not advisable.
And that was it was one of the things where I enjoy going on tours kind of, but after 5 or 6 days, I'm kind of a homebody. I want to be home.
So funny.
Especially if I'm not like playing.
Yeah. Well, the playing has a big part to do with it. Yeah. I always remember in those early tours of the real long ones, it was like after a month, like that fourth week gets hard. At least this is my experience. The fourth week is that like everything's grinding on you. Everything's annoying. And you're just like your body's fighting. There's just everything. Your mind's fighting everything. Like, I've got no sleep. Like you're really worn down. And then by the time the fifth week starts, now you've suffered through that fourth week and you've just lost your mind. And now there is no home. Like the only home exists is this world you live in. Like your backpack is your home. Like this van is your home. Like you've just adapted. You you had fun for the first 3 weeks. That fourth week is just the death of your past, and then that fifth week is like woohoo! Like I live on a cloud and I drive around in a van and woo. You just you just never know. Your feet never touch the ground again, and then usually our tours would be about 6 weeks, and so you do that for the last 2 weeks. You're just loopy and sappy. You just got no idea what's going on. But you're comfortable in the chaos and the confusion and wildness, no rules, kind of craziness of it all. And then you come home and then it's just enough to really feel like spun around and like, what the fuck? What am I doing? Why am I sleeping in the same bed? And then it feels weird again. You're back into a world. You're like, I already said, I forgot this world even existed. I didn't know you could have a refrigerator with food in it. Just all things were just strange. And that I've had that several times. I'm fortunate enough to know that kind of psychological torture of that. Like you just, okay, now we're through the looking glass. It's a whole new world.
You need like one cycle of the moon. You have to go through one cycle of the moon.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Your body's like, well, I guess this is my new life.
I'm sure
I've done 1 month.
Psychology of this thing. Like somehow, like I didn't think I would survive. I did this. No one's like everything. All logic goes out the window. Like I should be dead. There's no way to live. You're just eating the weirdest food and not sleeping enough and getting up every night on stage and it's this rush of adrenaline. Like every 24-hour cycle, you just repeat the same thing of like weird food, no sleep, crazy adrenaline. And then just like, that's enough to just like rewrite your brain, like erase your old hard drives. And then, so weird. And then you just do it over and over and over again. And that's there's a lot of shitty parts, but I think I would just go past the shitty parts into that pink cloud part of just like, I never want to leave. Like I've found like, this is the real world now. And then it's like, oh, okay.
You're a pirate.
Kind of. That's really how it comes down to it. At some point, you get comfortable.
Out on sea.
You get comfortable
been out on sea long enough.
Yeah, you've rewritten your own rules. It's like, yeah, those are land people rules. Out here, this is how this works.
Yeah.
You got to roll the window down if you fart. I don't know. You got to do something.
We're flying on the fumes of gasoline and Doritos.
That's it. Yeah, but it somehow all seems to work.
Yeah, it's great when you're young.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know if I could survive this now. I'd have to bring my CPAP machine with me and my 14 pillows and
your kids.
Oh shit! Well, yeah.
That's
definitely not going to work. Yeah. I thought that barely works for the kids at home. I don't know how. The kids on the road. I've seen all these great memes I've been sending to my wife just because we talked about vacations and little trips and things. And it's just like, yeah, bring your kids with you on vacation, like, and watch them be miserable in some other part of the world. Watch them complain about food that's way more expensive than the food you have at home.
Yeah. And iPad time and phone time, screen time.
Yeah. We had
how much screen time today?
Our 6-year-old, we took him to Disneyland, which is not far from here. But anyway, but about halfway through the day, he wanted to go home and watch YouTube. And I was like, are you out of your fucking mind? Do you know how expensive this fucking day for 4 people at Disneyland is?
I know. And our kids the same.
And if it was easy, I would send you home to go watch YouTube by yourself. And I would stay here and have a great time with your older brother and your mom who love doing this. We all have a great time. You're the only one who's crying over here. And we didn't even do anything too scary. I think he just wanted I'm over it.
It's like, there's something insane. That has become like a security blanket. Even our son will go out and do something fun, and it's good, like soccer games, and he'll do like soccer practice and all this. And he's like, "What time do you think we're gonna get home?" Like, I don't know, like 9:30. He's like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Oh, I just want to go play FIFA with my friend." And I'm
like, do you know?
I can't wait.
I have to drive for 4 hours.
Yeah. I unpacked 3 new players today, and they're all rated at 97, and I can't wait to play with them. And I'm like, all right, you and I are in different, like, we just are literally in different worlds half the time. Like, you're in this other, like, video game, and it is with like one of his best friend from LA, and that's
great.
They spend like an hour like losing their minds, like laughing and making jokes, and they're playing soccer together the whole time, and they're just like, it's like they're in the same room together. So
amazing.
In that sense, he's not sitting here like, focused on some video game. Like, he plays with his friends, and they like turn on their speakerphones, and it's like there's like 3 kids in the room. It's weird.
That's cool.
It is the new way of like community. I mean, he talks to his friends more than I do. He talks to his buddy. I mean, I say all that. I'm like, oh, can you believe you sit and talk to your friends for an hour?
What is there to even talk about? You got
for an hour every week on the computer.
Oh, terrible.
and as I'm talking to you, an hour a week on the computer.
Yeah.
I probably talk to you more than any of my friends combined.
Oh, I know. Well, that's what was so funny when I saw you. Yeah, I saw you in person. I was like, holy shit, it's you. You're a real person.
We haven't even seen each other in like 6 months.
Yeah.
In real life.
And you came by the house. I saw you for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
But I do feel like, there was a lot, because Shannon was like, oh, we're going to catch up with Aaron. I'm like, I think I know everything. I think I'm caught up. You guys catch up.
I saw the Il Corral book.
Oh yeah.
I saw the Erebus Nicks and Sticks photos.
Yeah, that was the big
She's
one.
like, did you ever play here? And I'm like, no, I went to shows there. I don't know if Sabertooth Tiger would have fit in with Il Corral.
I know. I think I only played there once for one of Sean's shows, because that was the other thing too. It wasn't just the venue book; it was the Sean Carnage Monday Nights series. That's sort of what he was celebrating, was a particular like run of shows that he booked. So I think I only did one of those, but I played those venues and on other nights. The other people.
Maybe we did. I feel like I saw you play. I feel like one of the first times I actually met you was at Il Corral.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know why. That just popped into my head.
I feel like I was there all the time.
Talking to you, and that would have been way before.
Talk about beers in the parking lot. There are lots of beers in that parking lot.
Yeah, there were a lot of beers in all the parking lots.
A lot of beers in LA in the early 2000s.
I feel like I feel like the move definitely was driving somewhere, having a beer or two, like sitting on your bumper with the buddy, and then going to a show. Mm-hmm. I feel like that was pretty much like, well, this is going to save me $10.
Oh God, at least. If not more. Yeah. There were a lot of Miller Lights that the newly designed. I didn't realize this at the time, but Shepard Fairey had a whole like design firm that he like redesigned the Sprite can. I think he'd like redesigned Miller Light for like the aughts, for the early
back then.
Aughts, yeah, I think so. I think that
I knew about the Sprite.
I'm pretty sure that Miller Light can was a Shepard Fairey production. There were a lot of them around.
That guy, yep. He made a good amount of cash. Also, very nice guy.
Yeah. Always
nice.
Yeah.
He's always friendly. One of those people too, because I met him way back in the Buddy Head days. And then also he helped when Chris and I were doing this pirate radio thing. Him and Zach like helped put together some people to help pay for some stuff.
That's huge.
And they loved the idea of pirate stuff. But then also I used to shoot for his magazine that he did with Roger Gassman called Swindle. And so I shot photos and stuff, but I never worked directly with him on that stuff. I always worked with Roger and Justin and those guys. And but every time I would walk in, he would go, "Aaron Farley, how are you? How's it going?" I'm like, "How you meet a million?" There's no way, and there's no way it's just my name. Like, how do you know every single person's first and last name? And he would introduce me. He's like, he used to shoot photos for Swindle. I believe he shot John Van Hammersveld. And he also, and I'm like, oh my God, you must have a photographic memory. This is
just amazing. One of those people.
But he's also like, and then he'd turn around and he'd be like, oh, this is my friend, like so-and-so, and you guys should meet. Like, he's a great person. And I'm like, dude, I just came over to say hi. Hey. But also extremely nice. And so supportive of the people that worked at Studio One and stuff. Like, I know so many people that he like helped out in so many ways to get them, like, they get their careers off the ground so that they could go fly into the stratosphere.
That's one of those things too, when you realize like success is not an accident. You know what I mean? When you see how hard people work and just other that level of like commitment and charisma and, just personal, charm. You have to remember everyone's names and have this all together. You're like, oh, that's how this works. Like that's how he's able to be as successful and prolific. And
well, and even when that ad agency, creative agency was like, I mean, they had two floors in the Wilshire building, and then he was doing that. He was DJing. He's always DJing somewhere, but then he would still have a roll of stickers and some wheat paste stuff, and he was still going out like multiple nights a week and wheat pasting. Wow. After working at running a creative agency and DJing and doing everything else. And he was doing that. And he was at every, art show. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel like even if I was on it, I would even have close to that amount of time. I don't know where the every minute is like used
productive.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That guy's like, I've never seen anybody work harder than him, other than Roger Gassman. Also, have you ever met Roger?
No, I don't think. I know his work. Right, his graffiti stuff.
He's basically is one of the best curators of Washington D.C. graffiti, ephemera. Like he puts on the art in the streets. And, and all of that. And then he did the graffiti magazine While You Were Sleeping. Do you remember that?
I do.
Back in the early 2000s, late 90s. And then that's how he, and eventually got into do Swindle and stuff, but also like never not working. Like that dude was just so prolific and had the most amazing stories. Like he always had like 4 or 5 people that worked with him in his office, and he would have like a bad experience at a restaurant or like a fast food place, and he had a list on the wall of fast food places that the employees were not allowed to go to.
Oh shit.
And why? Oh. Like this person did this and this to me when I went in. Yeah. So they are X'd off. And if I see you go into this place, you're fired. And it was like, but the whole thing was like that. It was this like the Roger show, and it was so funny and hilarious. And he's like, I don't know, it's like the best dude. But I would go in there, he'd call me up because I used to shoot stuff for him for like, I would shoot all the tabletop stuff for his books and stuff. And he's like, yeah, I'm doing a thing of DC hardcore book. And I would go and it was like, yeah, it's first pressing of this color of vinyl of the Minor Threat 7-inch, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, this is like the real stuff. Like the real, and he'd just scour the internet and people would know, and he was looking for stuff. And so I'd get to sit there and like, well, I'm holding the first pressing, the Minor Threat, like whatever, and shooting all that stuff. Yeah, it's great. I got to see it's one of those things. It's like a museum. That's awesome.
My God. He's got a thing right now. He's posting the Deadly Prey gallery, which is the art of Ghana's mobile cinema. These are like hand painted African film posters. They're incredible.
Yeah. And he has funny. Oh shit, what's his gallery called? It's down on La Brea. Oh my God. Now I'm spacing. We can put it in the show notes.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome, man. Awesome. All right. Well, yeah. Next week, another smell person. The smell month continues. Party keeps rolling on.
And listen to your interview to find out why it was called The Smell.
Oh,
it's enticing. Yeah, I won't ruin it.
Yeah.
I won't blow it. But it's amazing. It's like you got to listen to the whole.
Won't want to miss it.
The whole thing. You won't want to miss it.
And then what am I doing? Oh, next weekend, if you're in LA, I know I have 2 shows coming up. I have the 16th at Super Chief Gallery. I'll be performing with a new band with my friend Jeff Rosenberg. We're calling this project RC Flying Field. We'll be doing the soundtrack to a Thomas Campbell film, Yield Destruction, that No Age did the original recorded soundtrack for, and I've done a few different live ensembles for live soundtracks for that. But that's gonna be Saturday at Super Chief Gallery, Saturday, August 16th, and then Sunday I'm going to be at Face Guts. Our good friend Tim Biscup, former guest, Tim Biskup's art gallery Face Guts in, what do you call that area? Is that Eagle Rock?
Does
that have a little name?
Is Glendale, Eagle Rock, Highland?
Yeah.
Highland Eagle, Glendeagle Highland Park.
Yeah, we're getting the old band back together. I'm playing with Tim Biscup and Devin Sarno, or Methone.
Wow.
What
Amazing.
band project we'll be playing again? We haven't played in a couple of years. I was writing, I was like, can we do this? This is fun. This, it's a good excuse.
Is it for Tim's new show?
Tim has a new show. What's up? Yeah. At Face Guts.
The opening was this week, yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday. I wanted to go. I didn't have a chance.
Yeah, I wasn't there either.
Yeah. Family time all the
and
time.
Go next door to Home Guts. I have a piece up on the wall at Home Guts.
Yeah, man. So I encourage everybody this next weekend, if you're in LA, come out to some fun stuff. Super Chief Gallery on Saturday. It's a downtown LA art gallery. We'll be in live music to film scores, skate films, and then Sunday Home Guts and Face Guts in the Glendale Eagle Rock area. So those are my 2 shout outs for things to do. Do not miss. And
that's
then
a big weekend.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
That's good. This is like some good spots.
Yeah, I played a solo show a couple weekends ago, and then I did this other art opening. I don't think we even talked about it, with Watt and Herndon and Hago.
That was
it was Wall Ride. I was at the Stacy Peralta show.
We talked about.
We did talk about it. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God, my brain. I'm tired. This is it. This is the end of the weekend.
But that was one of the ones we had to do early, so we talked about it like a month ago.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I pre-talked.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Okay, well, I'll see you next week. Everybody be well.